You see? This is what happens when I try to be responsible. Here I am, trying to build up my IRL social links because that's what you do when you're a normal human being. But what does Atlus do? They said, screw your real life shit, we're gonna drop the Persona 5R announcement while you're on vacation. So, yeah, what do you say to that, Mr. Responsible?
Son of a bitch!
That's what I get for trying to be responsible. Drop my beat! Alright, here we go again, fam. Atlus is right back at it again, giving us announcements for announcements. But at least this time around, Atlus wasn't a complete tease as they gave us a new waifu to analyze. The only problem being is that I can't effing understand Japanese. Not that that would ever stop me, but by the power of the internet, there is already fan translations going around of the trailer. You guys are the true MVPs. So now that we got a new sweet and spicy trailer to dive into, let's get it, fam. The trailer opens up with a close-up of a Shujin Academy student in Shibuya. We hear someone interviewing her about the Phantom Thieves. And from what it seems like amongst the community, the voice should sound familiar if you play Persona 5 with the Japanese voiceover. The voice we hear is the pancake lover himself, Goro Akechi. Right away from the close-up of the student, we can see that she's a first-year student at Shujin. With that small bit of info, we can confirm that she's not the female version of the male protagonist. Using P3 as a reference, we know the female protagonist was her own character, but still just a female interpretation of the male protagonist. They share the same goals and ideals, and in the end, they go through the same hero's journey. As Akechi questions her, we see that she's not the same person as the main protagonist because she does not share the same ideals. With the fan translation, we know Akechi asks the student, "What do you think about the Phantom Thieves?" Her response is a clear red flag to the fact that she's not the same person as our main protagonist, our Joker. I'll quote what she says to Akechi, or at least as much of an accurate quote that you can get with a fan translation. She says, "I think that helping people is a great thing. However, I don't like the Phantom Thieves. I don't think their methods actually help people, nor helps the world become a better place. In the end, people have to solve their problems on their own, I think." It's clear from her response that she does not share the same ideals as our Phantom Thieves. In fact, she sounds a bit like our favorite pancake-loving detective. In the end though, she does think that the intentions of the Phantom Thieves wanting to help people are good, but she doesn't agree with their methods. This girl seems to have the mindset of people need to be self-sufficient and self-reliant. The mindset of, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, but if you teach a man how to fish, you feed him for his whole lifetime. She believes that people need to fend for themselves, and how the Phantom Thieves handle things, they don't achieve that. So we may have a lock on how this girl thinks, but what does this mean for the actual game? Well, first, we need to establish when all of this is taking place. It doesn't seem like this is the beginning of the game, because the Phantom Thieves sound like they are a well-established team from the sound of the dialogue. So much so, they probably have a decent amount of clout and popularity. I say this because Akechi isn't asking if she believes the Phantom Thieves are real. He is basically asking her if she thinks the Phantom Thieves are just. These two types of questions happen at different points in the Phantom Thieves' popularity, and can help us pin down when Akechi could possibly be approaching her in-game. Based on this question, I would say that Akechi runs into this girl sometime in June. I choose to frame this possible window in June because at this point, the Phantom Thieves have hit their stride. The general consensus of the public at this point is that people believe the Phantom Thieves do in fact exist, but most people are unsure if the Phantom Thieves' actions are right or wrong. Next, I feel the most likely time that Akechi and this girl could possibly meet is on June 10th. Now this day is very important, because this is the day that Shujin Academy goes on their class trip to the TV station. Since she's a student of Shujin, she would be attending this class trip just like every other student in the school. It's very possible that this scene that we see in the trailer is taking place right after they meet in the TV station. And she's now self-reflecting on her encounter. The only problem is that it never rains on June 10th. Now, it's totally possible that I'm nitpicking on the details, because Atlus could have made it rain in the trailer just for dramatic effect. But it is also possible that this scene could be taking place a couple days later, on the 13th. This is the next time it rains in June after the school trip. It wouldn't be too crazy for her to be taking her time to contemplate Akechi's offer. to possibly join him in the future. So I feel like this theory isn't too out there. But what does all this mean? Why is it important for us to pinpoint a time and place for this scene? Well, I'll tell you why. It's important for us to make this distinction because I don't think that Persona 5 The Royal is an actual sequel. I think the new events being added to Persona 5 Royal are happening parallel to the original events of Persona 5. My theory is that the new events taking place in Persona 5 Royal are going to be less like Persona 3's The Answers, which is an epilogue to the story of Persona 3, but rather, this will be the second scenario for the original Persona 5 story, kind of like the two separate campaigns you see in the Resident Evil games. Let's take Resident Evil 2 for example. In RE2, you have two main characters, Leon and Claire. Both of their stories take place during the same day. Both characters start at the same point in the game, but to only branch off into completely different paths, experiencing different challenges in different situations. But the two paths ends up converging by the end of the game. So this is my theory for Persona 5 Royal. We will get two separate campaigns to choose from at the beginning of the game. The first campaign will be the original story with the Phantom Thieves and Joker, but the second campaign will follow this new character. This will give us a totally new perspective on the story of Persona 5, giving the player an opportunity to see what Akechi's been doing behind the scenes. In this second campaign, we will follow this first-year Shujin Academy student. We will see the rise and resurgence of the Phantom Thieves from an all-new perspective. This new character will be motivated to rise up against the Phantom Thieves for their false sense of justice. And Akechi will nurture this relationship when he learns that this girl shares some of his feelings and ideals. With this idea, Atlus can kill two birds with one stone. They will be fulfilling the need of a female protagonist, but one that is completely separate from Joker. And this will also give Akechi more screen time as a playable party member for our new protagonist. With this new connection to Akechi, it will be possible for Atlus to introduce some new palaces to the mix. Throughout Persona 5, Akechi is responsible for mental shutdowns for many people that the Phantom Thieves don't interact with, leaving open the possibility for a wide variety of new palaces for new and old faces. In this new campaign, we could visit the palaces of Principal Kobayakawa and the SIU Director, two characters we know Akechi comes in direct contact with in the story, to cause mental shutdowns to. We will be able to explore the ins and outs of these two characters in more depth, to really flesh out their personal motivations. Not only that, we could revisit some of the old palaces as well. The first one that comes to mind is Okumura's palace, Haru's father. We will be able to explore a different route for this palace, one separate from what the Phantom Thieves take, while giving us new puzzles and challenges to overcome. And there is one more palace I would like to propose. Now, it would be kind of odd for Atlus to only give us two playable characters for this new team. So what if Atlus has Hifumi Togo join this new dynamic duo? And before you guys say anything, I know this isn't the first time that I've brought up Hifumi's name in a video. And if you haven't seen it, go check out the card in the corner. Hashtag shameless plug. I have previously suggested that Hifumi could one day join the Phantom Thieves, and I would still prefer that scenario more overall. But from a gameplay standpoint, it would make more sense for Hifumi to join our new duo instead. This is where Atlus could introduce a palace for Hifumi's mother. As I mentioned in my previous video, Hifumi's mother could be one of Shido's followers, using the metaverse for their own selfish desires. This would make Hifumi's mother a target for Akechi, because eventually, Shido would begin to clean up his loose ends, putting our new team in direct path to Hifumi and helping her unlock her power as a Persona user. As much as I would like Hifumi to join the Phantom Thieves, they already have an analytical party member in their ranks, with Makoto already filling that role. So Hifumi would be better utilized if she joined the ranks of our new anti-Phantom Thieves team. Ooh, I just gave myself chills. Now wouldn't that be an interesting dynamic? An anti-Phantom Thieves team? Kinda like Strega from Persona 3? Come on Atlus, make it happen! Persona user versus Persona users. A Persona user battle royale. Ah, you get it? Ah. Okay, let me stop. I may be getting a bit carried away. This would be a lot of content for Atlus to add to one game, even if it is the definitive version of said game. But at the end of the day, I would be happy if only a fraction of all this came true. So who knows? I mean, I could be talking out of my ass here with all this fantasizing. This new Shujin Academy student could just be this game's Marie-chan for Persona 4 Golden, giving us a new confidant to max out and possibly a new palace to take down. Yeah, the more I think about that, I really hope that's not the case though. But that's all I got for you sexy people. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos and theories. Alright, I'll catch you later, fam.
Show down the smoke and show me the window, show what I'm told. Don't forget that this world is so cold. I don't even know, I'm searching no more. Tell me what I want, keep searching on. It's never enough, stop at the car, run at the gun. I wouldn't give one if I could find a fun.